There's been a murder in Karlov Manor, but who really cares? Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be chatting about the state of Magic the Gathering and Hasbro and a lot of the things behind the scenes going on. And we're going to wrap that around this idea of Murders at Karlov Manor is coming out in not this Friday, but next Friday is pre-release. And nobody really cares about the story or the theme behind what is a very, very thematic set. If you want to join our Discord server, you can go to KitchenTableTCG.com to join that. If you want to discuss all things Magic the Gathering and different card games, make sure you hop in there and we can get into this discussion. But this set seems to be the big thematic set of 2024. It seems like once a year they kind of put, you had Phyrexia All Will Be One or March of the Machine last year. And this one you have, Murders at Karlov Manor, a set that really hones in and focuses on thematic nature of storytelling in Magic the Gathering. And that really feels bad when nobody knows the story. Like when nobody cares about the story. That feels bad when you focus all the energy of a set onto the thematic nature of it, and nobody cares about the story. That makes the set not feel good. And if you compare this to Lost Caverns of Ixalan, people cared about the set because the cards were super powerful, and there were mana crypts, and there was really good reprints and huge value baked into the set. And then you have Murders at Karlov Manor, and the sales pitch is it's a thematic set, there's been a murder, who done it? And nobody cares about it. And so the contrast of these two things is really, really strong. And so the heart of this video is to talk about, why are we in that place? Why are we in this place where nobody cares about who murdered who in Karlov Manor, and it just doesn't have any effect on the excitement level for the game? Because, frankly, some of the cards look really cool. There are some powerful cards in Murders at Karlov Manor. I've been talking to some people in the store. I'm just trying to figure out, hey, what's your excitement level for the set? And people are excited for some of the specific cards. They're excited for some of the things that are coming up in the gameplay side of this. I actually think that there's going to be some sleepers in this set that are going to cause the value of the set to actually be there. And Magic's done a great job this year, last year in 2023, of producing new cards with significant and great value added to players that have carried sets. We saw that in Lost Caverns as well, with some of the different gods. We've just seen it. We saw it a little bit in Wilds of Eldraine. Obviously, you've got Phyrexia All Will Be One with Sheoldred, or maybe that was Dominaria United. Anyway, you've got a bunch of stuff pushing some value of new cards. And the set has it. But the excitement level a week before release, in my opinion, is pretty low. And I want to go back to that idea of the reason the excitement level is low is because nobody cares about what's happening. A thematic set feels bad when nobody knows or cares about the theme. And this is where we get into the details on this. We've been talking about the last 2 years on the channel. I know Rudy Alpha Investments talks about it all the time. This Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast thing, where the money is siphoning away. Magic is this cash cow. They're bringing in all this money, all this revenue, all this profit, and the money just gets siphoned away and pumped into all these other things that Hasbro wastes their time, energy, and resources on. We just saw 1,000 employees get fired as a result of the mismanagement at Hasbro. And this is the theme not mattering is all connected. Could you imagine if all that money that was in Magic the Gathering went towards creating a AAA video game title that introduced us to the characters? There's never been a successful Magic the Gathering video game. Magic Arena, A, is it successful or not? That's up for you to decide. But B, not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Skyrim, right? Like a video game that is made by companies that, Bethesda, whatever, that know what they're doing. A AAA title that brings us as a community into loving and falling in love with the Magic the Gathering characters. Could you imagine if the resources that Magic was making went into starting to design and develop that kind of thing, so that when a new set came out that had this huge thematic nature, it spoke to some of the things that happened in the video game, or gave us a clue of what will potentially be happening next in a video game that we really fell in love with and we really indulged in and encountered things. Can you imagine if we had a AAA title like that wrapped us into the lore and the depth of Magic the Gathering? Can you imagine how much more exciting a set like that would be? Can you imagine if we had a Netflix show, some of that money that went towards Hasbro's other stupid stuff, like Nerf guns and I don't know, other stuff? I don't know what else Hasbro has, to be honest. They have nothing. That's the point. They're just like, it's a bottomless pit of money that just keeps on dropping all the value out, instead of going things to, like, imagine a Netflix show. We had rumors of a Netflix show, the Russo brothers, the guys who did the Thanos Snap movie, right? The Marvel stuff. We were supposed to get a Magic the Gathering Netflix series, and it just kind of disappeared. They just had creative differences, right? And they never put the resources back into developing this stuff. And so when you don't have any way of creating lore other than like posts, like Facebook, not like articles, right? They just have these articles that they put up on their website, and maybe one trailer that does or does not work with the lore that's told on the cards. As we saw, some of the characters died off in one of the sets in the trailer, and then they had full-on cards and they never got completed or died in the game, right? Like, if they were to do this, it would help us as consumers fall in love with the brand, fall in love with the story, and then, because we care about the characters, because we care about the stories, when they did a thematic set like Murders at Karlov Manor, we would all be like, who's murdering who? What's the story? Why do I care? Because I know those characters and I'm invested in them. And so I was kind of going through videos today of what I was going to talk about. I was like, why do we not care? Like, I bet you, if you're watching this video still this far on, you have no clue who got murdered at Karlov Manor. I bet you have no clue. I just read the article. I don't even recognize half the characters. Okay? Like, it is unbelievable how much little we care about the IP of a game that we are so heavily involved and invested in time, energy, resources in. And that amount of opportunity that Wizards has, that Hasbro has, to capitalize, if they just put the investment in to capitalize on their own IP, it's unbelievable, in my opinion. It's unbelievable how much potential that stuff has. So I think, that money should be going to that. And I think these sets really hammer that home. These sets that rely on the themes are the ones that really show the lack of IP within Magic. And now, we have, this is potentially the frustrating part, and the reality is, this is potentially only going to get worse. Because why invest that money when instead you can invest that money into a Marvel deal, right? And I think the answer is the Marvel deal, that kind of thing, will grow the game wide, but it won't grow the game deep. And so as they grow wide and as they continue to reach more and more audience, the question to me is, do those people stick? The people who came in and bought Lord of the Rings Commander decks, and that was the first time they played, are they still playing the game? Are they still interested? Do they care about who got murdered in Murders at Karlov Manor? Do they care about going to the Lost Caverns of Ixalan? Do they care about the Thunder Junction, the Wild West one coming out? Because what you want, if you're Magic, I think, is for those people who care about Marvel to start caring about Magic. And if you don't care about Magic yourself, if you don't care about investing in the own IP and creating something for them to actually care about, they're never going to become Magic the Gathering fans. They'll just be Marvel fans who buy a Marvel set the one time that they do that. The 2 years, whatever, that they do that. And so that's the big concern for me. As a store owner, as a player, as a whatever, I'd love to see them invest in their own brand, invest in their own IP, do some of these things. A Netflix show, there's a million Netflix shows. There's Netflix shows for literally everything. It can't be that much out of the realm for Magic the Gathering, the #1 most played trading card game in the world, a 30-year brand. It cannot be that extreme of an idea for Magic the Gathering to have a Netflix show that's good and that does well and that's successful. It cannot be that much. I mean, we see other card games and companies create video games. The Magic lore fits perfectly into a video game. You could build a Skyrim, but it's Magic the Gathering. I know it costs a lot of money, but Magic already has that. They already bring in a bunch of money. So like, you've got the resources, you just have to apply them. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I would love to hear about them. If you want to hop into the Discord as well, that would be great. I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.